All right, you guys, so this laptop completely blew my mind. This is the HP OMEN MAX 16, and inside of it, this thing has an Intel Core Ultra 275HX CPU, which means it's going to be able to do a ton, but it also has an RTX 5090, which lets us get the absolute best gaming performance I've ever seen on a laptop. So like the name implies, the Max 16 is Omen's absolute best laptop ever, and y'all, it's pretty insane. But let's take a look at this thing. So it's actually got a pretty low-key design. Obviously, it's a bit on the thicker side, close to 6 pounds, which means it's pretty heavy, but it's got a 5090 in here. I don't think anyone's complaining. But even considering this being a top-of-the-line gaming laptop, it's actually not that thick. Like I said, really low-key looking, super clean look, and we got a bunch of I/O too. Starting on the right, you've got a USB-A port. On the back, we've got your power, Ethernet, HDMI, and you also get another USB-A. And on the left side, you've got 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports, as well as a headphone jack. Guys, right off the bat, we thinking this is a gaming laptop? If you didn't know anything about it, you just saw me walking around with this?
I'd say so.
You think so?
Yeah.
You'd be able to tell?
Yep.
What about you, Ashton?
It looks businessy.
I'm with Ashton. If I saw someone walking around with this, I wouldn't think it's a gaming laptop unless I saw this.
Yeah, I think that's what I was looking at.
Yeah, because once you see all this, you know the cooling is gonna be crazy. And once you open it up, there is absolutely no hiding the fact that you're a gamer. Because you guys can see it. You've got this dope RGB strip at the bottom, which I'm personally a huge fan of. And this laptop actually makes use of this like with intelligent lighting so that, I don't know, if your HP is down in a game, it kind of represents it here. Cool stuff. But they've also got per key RGB, so you can completely customize all of the keys in here. So if you want certain colors for certain keys, you can go into the software and fine tune all that. And the Omen laptops have always had these interesting keys where you can kind of see the sides of them so the RGB stands out a little bit more. Now this also has a nicely sized trackpad, and then you've got your speakers right above the keyboard. And last but not least, when it comes to your webcam, you've got it right up top, and you've got a physical privacy shutter for anyone who wants to take the extra precautions. Now we first saw this at CES earlier this year, and I already knew the specs on this were going to be absolutely insane. But like I said, this is the Max, so we're getting all of the bells and whistles when it comes to specs. This guy's going to be equipped with an Intel Core Ultra 9 275HX processor, so tons of performance, which is absolutely going to be great if you want to use this like as a workstation, obviously for gaming, and pretty much anything else you want to throw at it. But these new Core Ultra chips are going to be able to access a ton of AI features, better power efficiency, so that's going to be great considering it's a gaming laptop. So you're pretty much getting everything you'd want out of a laptop CPU with the 275HX. You can get up to 64 gigs of RAM. Mine's packing 32. This thing's got the RTX 5090. I think it starts with the 5070 all the way up to the 5090, and it is absolutely insane. But we're gonna talk about how gameplay and performance feels like a little bit later. You also get up to 2 terabytes of storage, and it's packing an 83 watt-hour battery. But one of the most important specs here is definitely this display. So what we've got right here is a 16-inch WQHD OLED display with a 240 hertz refresh rate and a 0.2 millisecond response time. And let me tell y'all, this display, it's clean. Colors on this look super vibrant, which makes sense because it's an OLED display. And me personally, I'm glad we have OLED here because, I mean, you got a 5090, you have all those graphics, you want it to pop, you want it to be on the best kind of screen possible. And with that in mind, pretty much everything about this makes an awesome combo. So you have this beautiful OLED display that's nice and vibrant, that's 240 hertz, and with a 5090 in here and the Core Ultra 9 chip, it all just works together really well. So when I'm playing some of my favorite games, you guys know me, I love me some Apex Legends, I'm able to have all of the max settings, and in actual gameplay, I'm getting well over 200 frames per second. Mind-blowing stuff. But to be clear, I've been playing on the new Unleashed mode, which basically allows you to overclock your machine. You're playing at maximum fans. You know, I throw a headset on and I'm not worried about those fans, but they do get really loud. I'm not getting super nerdy on you guys because that's not what this channel is about, but for the nerds, you can get a total of 250 TPP, and that's absolutely insane here. Now, speaking of the fans, the Omen 16 has some of Omen's newest tech when it comes to keeping this thing cool so you can get the most performance out of it longer, including a whole new system for their vapor chambers and heat pipes. They even created this new Omen Cryo Compound, which should help with the longevity of your CPU. Even cooler to me is the fact that inside of the system, they created a new feature which lets the fans basically clean themselves. And that's cool because if you happen to be a rookie and listen, this is a judgment-free zone. You might have some dust on your fans and you might not realize how much that impacts performance. Now, they actually went and co-engineered this whole new fan system with Intel. As we know, fans rotate to keep it cool, but when you're not doing anything intensive, you're not playing any games, it'll actually go into cleaning mode by spinning the fans in the reverse direction to shake off that dust. And that's one less thing to worry about. Maintenance for your fans, something I know everyone's not thinking about. But I say all that to say, gaming on this for me has been really fun because I get the best graphics without having to worry about performance. Now, obviously, you're not gonna live in that unleashed mode. And when you're down to like performance mode or even the balance mode, you're still getting really, really great frames. I'll throw up some numbers for you guys to see what I'm talking about. Nonetheless, gaming has been awesome here. But one thing that I think, which is another quality of life change that Omen has focused on, is actually with the AI. So AI is playing a big role in all of this to make sure you're getting all of those frames, games look really good. But it also has this other cool feature where it uses the Omen AI to pick the absolute best settings so you get the max frame rate out of your system. What that means is instead of having to go into a game and toggle all of those settings and tweaking it just right so that you can get really good performance, the AI system will do it for you. Now, unfortunately, not all games are supported, and support for this is going to be rolling out over time. For me, it worked really well with Apex Legends. Funny enough, it just kind of cranked everything to the max. But I wonder, would it change that based on the performance mode you're in? It has to, right? Let me try that real quick. Now, thankfully for myself, Apex is one of the games that support is coming for. It's actually here now. But right now we're in eco mode. So I opened up the Omen Performance Toolkit, and right now it says your FPS is 112. So I have the Omen AI control settings beta on, and if I go back to the game now, if I jump into settings, oh wow, look at all of this. It just tweaked all the settings on its own. Will it tweak these in real time if I just switch to, let's say, performance mode? All right, so now I'm in performance mode. All right, so it doesn't do it in real time, but I'm gonna exit out of the game and see if it does it upon opening. Okay, it looks like it did. So as soon as I closed out the game, it went from 112 FPS to 179. And you guys kind of saw it for yourself. We went from like all max settings to whatever it configured because we were on eco mode. For me, that's awesome because I find it pretty annoying to have to tweak various game settings to see how it impacts the frame rate, and just trying to find like the optimal combination for me is a time sink I don't care to do. But with this, it does it all for you. So for those folks out there who want just like a simple experience but with the best performance, that's gonna be really useful as long as more games get support for it. But personally, I think it's gonna be more interesting to see how the Omen AI does its thing on not a system like this where all it has to do is max out the settings, but a mid-range system or even an entry-level system to get the most frames. That's gonna be fun to see. Now, we already talked about the fact that this has an 83 watt-hour battery. If you're using this as a gaming laptop, chances are you're always gonna be plugged in. But for when you do use this thing as a normal laptop and not a gaming laptop, it does have the quick charge feature, so you can go from 0 to 50% in just about 30 minutes. All in all though, guys, for this being my first laptop with an Intel Core Ultra 9 and a 5090 in here, I am extremely impressed. And I really want to see the Omen AI come out of beta, support more games, because I think that might be a real game changer for us regular folk out there. But of course, I'll have links to this down below in the description. Let me know what you guys think. Catch you in the next one. Peace. Imagine making a racing sim out of this.
I know, right?
Has it been done?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
I mean, like, it's been done by small.
So what you're saying is I'm not original.
No.
Whatever.
That's not what I was saying.